Right, my name is Stephen J. Humphrey, independent candidate for Bournemouth East, listening to Radio 1 Extra UKG mix on way past my bedtime, but anyway. Just thought I'd give you a summary, a revision of why I want to stand for Parliament. And why you should vote for me at the next general election when Gordon Brown finally gives us a general election. I've got suspicions, mainly, about Parliament and about, I believe it's not working for us, we the people, and you're getting your votes ignored, your voices clouded, are ignored by the corporates who only see profit at the end of the day. So the government have been infected with that disease, I believe, and I need to get into Parliament to change it, to fundamentally reform Parliament, and to make darn sure that my suspicions are all wrong. And we can believe what we like, but until we get into positions of authority as human beings, I think and I believe that things are going to get worse. So you've got to vote for someone like me who stands up for truth and justice and make poverty history and to fix climate change and to do all the things we need to do to make sure life is free and fair. Now, is it right that councils can charge you twice for the same job? Like, you drive your car, how many taxes do you have on your car? You've got road tax, you've got fuel duty, you've got insurance, you've got VAT to buy the car, you've got MOT, you've got VAT on repairs, you've got VAT on the parts that you need to replace. The mechanics pay their fair tax, VAT on their purchases. The company itself pays loads and loads of tax. You've got business rates, you've got corporate taxes, you've got business, VAT to pay on your materials and your health costs and your training costs and all of the things that you need to buy is taxed. And I believe that you're paying way too much in tax. We are paying too much in tax. So we need to reform the tax system, we need to reform the way that Parliament represents us, because every general election, every local council election, you have to vote. But you don't really know who you're voting for. All you know is that you're voting for a Tory candidate or a Green Party or a BNP or whoever. And you don't really know where they stand when they vote. And I've checked my MP's local record and it's not very encouraging. I think he's voted in favour of the war in Iraq and against climate change. Or he's abstained on 90% of his... I mean, you have to check his record, but it's not very optimistic, it's not very positive. He seems to be ignoring his responsibility to govern the country in Parliament and to represent us in Parliament. And we've got no mechanism in place to check that. So we need to reform the way Parliament works, we need to reform the way democracy works, we need to reform the responsibility of the members of Parliament, the civil service, the council officers, the way that we're taxed, the way we pay for services, the way we manage manage the NHS and the MOD and the police, and we need to make poverty history. I mean, I can't see any other way of fixing it. So so by voting for me, you've got a chance. You'll at least have an advocate who's in the same kind of world that you're in, who can't afford to pay his bills, who can't afford to fly to Barbados every year like some MPs can. Most MPs. I've not left this country in over 12 years, right? And that was a free holiday. So there's me in the lowest rung of society, not having a good life, at all. And life expectancy is poor. I live in a poor and deprived area, and most of us are vulnerable to economic pitfalls. The banking crisis, for example, that was caused by negligence, that was caused by the government taking its eye off the ball, so thinking wrongly that we need the banks to survive. We don't really need the banks. What we need is a decent government, decent way to govern ourselves. And I don't see it. It's been corrupted, it's been abused. And the consequence is that Britain as a country is bankrupt, America most certainly is bankrupt, and the whole world as a whole is bankrupt to the tune of $52 trillion. I mean, that's utter madness. So we need to fix it, and I'm not confident at all in Gordon Brown's leadership. I'm not confident in David Cameron's leadership, and I'm certainly not confident in Nick Clegg. And that leaves the BNP, UKIP, the Scottish parties, the Welsh parties, Plaid Cymru, and a whole load of bad options. And green option is good, but vote green if you can, vote independent if you have the option. But please vote. So you vote for me, what do you get? Well, you get an honest guy for a start. There's no doubt on my character. I'm honest and straightforward, and I will try my best, and that's all you can expect from an MP, their best behaviour. And it's time for change, definitely time for change. But I'm not confident that the Tories are going to give us that change. I'm certainly doubtful whether New Labour will give us the change that we desperately need. And representation of the people, that's what it's all about. And if you'd rather watch X Factor and ignore your responsibilities as a voter, as a taxpayer, as a member of this society called Britain, then that's up to you. But you've got to vote. Got to. Even just to send out the message that you're listening, that you're watching, that you're taking note of what the politicians are doing. You recognise they've got a job to do, and you don't believe that they're doing the job properly, so you've got to vote. That's the only voice you've got, because you can march on the streets of London and it makes no difference. You can sign a petition and it doesn't seem to make a difference. It doesn't get through to their heads. But we the people are not getting what we need, which is good democracy, good government, a parliament that works for us. And we need mechanisms in place to prevent fascism from rearing its ugly head. We need rules to challenge the corporatocracy that's governing this world. And we need to change it all so that we get better representation from the people. People like me and you. Alright. Anyway, vote for me if you can. Stephen J. Humphrey, independent candidate for Bournemouth East at the next general election when Gordon Brown finally gives us an election. And Gordon Brown, I hope you're watching, but you're sacked, mate. Call a general election because you're basically incompetent and you don't have what it takes to govern this country in our interests, in the interests of the British people. Anyway, ciao.